when you think about being younger and listening to music, can you think about the point when you decided or when you got inspired and wanted to start creating music, or the first time maybe that you tried to start writing music, or when do you think about the beginning of your journey as an artist? Like, what's some of the origins in those?
Well, I remember being a kid and not even thinking about the concept of, like, when I heard music, I thought that people were just at the radio station recording it live. Like, I didn't know what the concept of recording was. But the first time I ever wrote a song or attempted to write a song, I was in 5th grade. And me and my friend, shout out to my friend Julio.
Yeah.
He's a producer and artist from Belvedere as well. One of my best friends, you know, he really introduced me to a lot of different type of music and stuff too. Like, had me listen to like Gorillaz, and he really expanded my music taste. Yeah, like he really expanded my music taste. But yeah, I remember me and him were just, you know, writing raps. But at the time, at that point in my life, like, I was in love with football. You know what I'm saying? So I didn't think I could be an artist because I already played football. You know.
Yeah.
It wasn't until I was like a freshman or a sophomore when I started like actually trying to record or messed around with the idea of what a song would sound like if I wrote it, you know what I mean?
Okay.
But yeah.
So how quick between when you started writing music how quick was it for you to begin to start recording music?
Well, yeah, so basically I remember my freshman year, I would write songs and I would just keep them to myself. Like, I could probably still find them in my notes app. Okay. I wouldn't read those bars right now. They're probably trash, but it was just the fact that I was doing that, you know? Yeah. And I didn't really tell nobody. Only a couple people knew. Mm-hmm. And then my sophomore year, there was like this big thing at my school. I went to Belvedere, which is like really, you know, there was like a big thing. Like, there was these rap battles and people was dissing each other. Yasha was involved with that. Okay. It was like a whole thing. It was like, and then it just kind of made it acceptable for people just to drop music, but it wasn't nothing really serious like they were doing. But I took that as an opportunity to be like, yo, maybe there is a lane here for people that want to listen to music if they actually make it about, you know, something like that. Yeah. But yeah, it was just, and I remember my friend, he had this studio in his basement, very like makeshift, very like, you know, obviously nothing professional or nothing. Yeah. And we were just kids. We were recording on GarageBand, uploading songs to SoundCloud, no mixing, no EQ, nothing, just
recording and putting it out.
Yeah, stealing the beat, you know, like just, you know, but that's the foundation for, you know, how you get to like now shit. But yeah.
Yeah, I think that those times is real important for an artist when you have the sort of those first years of just being able to think about something and then record it and manifest it and hear it, and the way that sort of gives this feedback loop to you that makes you want to do more and want to do better, and you begin to listen to music with a different ear. You begin to listen to other artists with a different ear. You begin to sort of see life in a different way, and you begin to process life in a different way. You know, it becomes like this sort of outlet for you, and it's a real transformation, I think, that happens when you're able to go from just writing something and go into being able to record it and tangibly hear it back. And I think a lot of artists grow in those first early years of recording and releasing music, no matter how much, you know, plays or how much what other things may be coming outside of it. Those first years of just trial and error, of, you know, learning what beats you like, learning what flows you like, learning you know, how you like to record, learning how you don't like to record, learning how you like your voice to sound, learning how you don't like your voice to sound, and then eventually get into a place where you begin to know what your sound is. You begin to sort of know, you know, what you want out of the studio experience, know what you want out of the, you know, creation process. And it's a lot easier. You know, it's still a difficult task, but it's a lot simpler now to put on the beat and to get the words, you know, to go from having the words to going in there and recording, then knowing what to listen for after the first record, what to listen for after the second time recording. And I think that one of the things I've talked to a couple of different people about is how it's so many people who grow up and what they want to do is, you know, make music and record music. And when you first have that desire, you first had that dream, for a lot of people, it's before it doesn't come with the idea of being rich from it or getting Grammys from it or getting a sign from it. It's just the idea that, oh, this person, I can hear this song and I like the way this song sounds. I like the way people react to music. I like the way I react to music. I want to create something that makes people react act that way.
Yeah.
And 90% of the people who ever have the thought or the ambition or the desire to do it never do it.
Yeah.
And so when you're part of that 10% that has actually done, you know, you've written the song out, you got that process down. Then you went, you found a way to get the song recorded, you got that process down. You went, you found a way to get the song released. Like, you get to like this percentile where most people who have ever dreamed of making music or wanted to make music didn't really have the access to do that. You know, in the 80s, it wasn't just easy to just because you want to make music to record a song. You know, in the 50s, it's just because you want to make music, it's not easy to go and record a song. And I think that a lot of times we take for granted, once we've gotten to a point of being able to record music, being able to release music, having people listen to the music that we released, you can sort of take for granted, you know, how special it is to have that dream, you know, and to have that desire and to fulfill it. There's just a lot of people who want to be doctors that'll never do an operation. You know, it's a lot of people who want to be lawyers that'll never, you know, do any legal cases.
Pro athletes.
So, you know, a lot of people who wanted to do certain things where like they'll never, you know, they gave up on the dream before, you know, they wanted to be a pro athlete and instead they a teacher now. You know, they never tried out for the school team. They never did none of it. Like, it just was a thing that they had a desire for and they was never, you know, able or had the privilege to be able to see through. And I think that it is, you know, a very special thing to be able to see it through. And sometimes it's more important to focus on that than it is to focus on all these things that are outside of your control, like whether you get rich from it or whether you get a certain amount of success from it or whether you get, you know, a certain amount of fans or whatever. And, you know, it is important to continue to have that ambition and that drive. But, you know, it's important to sort of see the perspectives that it's still something special to like have recorded a song and put these feelings out and put these things in the music and to release it and have people heard your voice.
Yeah.